Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SA Accounting Academy. Here's a short clip on one of our previous webinars. I hope that you really do enjoy it.
A session that is developing and evolving every time I run it. And this is about the third or fourth time I've had this conversation, and it is my slides keep on changing and my conversation keeps on changing, because as we engage and as we think about it and as we work with it, more comes to light, more is revealed, and the layers are getting peeled away. You know, we are just, this week will be 2 months. I mean, I think, you know, the 12th of September will be 2 months since we had all of this unrest. And as I've been chatting about this, you know, I've almost had a joke, and on other platforms I've been talking about it, and sort of said this is almost like disaster management accounting. We've definitely got South Africa is a bit of a Wild West space. We have got pockets of excellence. We've got incredibly talented and incredibly amazing things, and then we have these darker spots in our lives that we're having to deal with. And as South African accountants, I think we're almost getting to be masters at it. Okay, so the civil unrest that we had in July has had a huge impact. One of the things that I was hoping people would appreciate, and why I wanted to do this, and especially on a national platform, because some people would say, well, oh, that's KZN's problem or Gauteng's problem. And my response is no. Okay, in these layers that we are peeling back, there are organizations and entities that have been impacted by this across the country, through supply chain, through data management, through all sorts of different impacts and different ideas. They have felt this in their day-to-day lives. Okay. The other side to this is that why I call it disaster accounting, because it's almost part 2 of COVID. Okay, so we've kind of got to grips with COVID a little bit. We sort of got used to COVID. COVID is part of our lives. This third wave doesn't seem to be ending. It seems to just be rolling on. They say that the fourth wave will be in, you know, November, December. And I'm thinking, well, it's October next month, and it seems like the third wave hasn't settled. So we have these challenges that present themselves continually. So it really makes you stop and think about, what do you do when these things happen? What do you do when you have these unexpected challenges, and how does it impact on our lives? Okay, so it's almost like using the unrest as a case study, but it does make us stop and think, well, when disaster strikes, man-made, you know, act of God, government, or whatever it may be, how do we need to respond, and what do we need to do? And so those of you that don't know me, I suddenly realized I'm wearing pink again. This is me. This is who I am. My bio is in the notes. Feel free to stalk me on socials. My pages are there. I'd love to have some engagement with you. So you can find me if you need me. And also, for those of you that know me, you know that I like an interactive audience. I really do encourage you, and especially on a topic like today, please pop your comments in, pop your thoughts in, ask questions. You know, let's engage and let's thrash this out, because as I said, this is almost like a developing, evolving topic. And the more views we get, the more opinions we get, the more thoughts we get, the better the solution is. I think that's one of the beauties about South Africa, is that our diversity is our strength. You put a problem on a table and you have a whole lot of different perspectives, and your solution is that much better. I don't really have a course outline other than just let's stop and think about what happened. Okay, let's just stop and think about why this is something that I felt it was necessary for us to have a conversation about. On the 11th of July, many of us were dealing with life. We just got over month ends, most probably, and we went to bed on Sunday night, thinking that Monday morning was coming and it was just going to be a normal Monday. For myself personally, I woke up with WhatsApps coming through because my housekeeper was suddenly saying, "Oh, Karen, I've got a problem with taxis. I can't quite get to work." And just to put a bit of context in today, why I feel so passionately about this topic, I live in Pietermaritzburg. I live in the Midlands in Hilton, and this was literally on my doorstep. I'm literally in the heart of this, and so I saw the destruction firsthand. I was literally hearing the gunshots and hearing all the challenges and seeing the devastation. And Brookside Mall, which was the very first shopping centre to get burnt, is I drive past that every single day. So this was not watching this on TV like a dystopian movie and thinking, gee whiz, that's shocking. This is people I know whose businesses have been destroyed, whose livelihoods have been affected. This is incredibly close to home for me. Okay, so it's sort of why I feel I can talk about it, why I feel I can have a voice in it, and also why I feel like I need to get the message out about it. It was war for 3 days. It was absolute civil war and I use that word carefully, but that is how it felt for those of us on the ground. But 3 days later, we were back up and running, and South Africans are resilient. It also taught us that the law-abiding were greater than the lawless. Okay, we actually want this country to succeed. We actually have a heart in this country, no matter who, what, why, and when you are, that there are more people that want a positive future than not. So that is the positives. There are definitely positives to this, but there was also very, very real trauma to this. So we had this unrest that seemed for some of us to come from nowhere. It just blossomed, it arrived, and was incredibly violent, incredibly impactful. Okay, the stats and the numbers, which are still being gathered and are still being put together, the billions and billions of rand worth of stock losses and infrastructure damage, the hundreds of thousands of jobs that have been permanently lost. Okay, these are very real problems for an economy to survive, and it's not just not just the KZN or parts of Gauteng's economy. It is a national problem because there's going to be a redirect of funds and redirect of resources to sort this out. Okay, so we have the civil unrest, we have this, whatever it may be, instigated by whatever means, but it did blow up and it burned hot and bright and was incredibly aggressive. Okay, that type of event does not, it leaves scars and it leaves problems. So from a business point of view, one of the biggest challenges, well, there are two big challenges really. We've got the loss of documentation and the actual physical damage and the actual physical destruction that happened. But we also have a attitude issue with management and with people that are working in these spaces. Yes, we are resilient. Yes, a lot of good was seen from this. Neighborhoods coming together, neighborhoods, neighbors getting to know each other, people coming, arriving with brooms and mops and wheelbarrows to clean up the debris and to help people get back on their feet. People sharing what resources they had, right down to trading. I've got a loaf of bread and you've got some rice. Let's make this happen. So you definitely saw that spirit of the South African heart working. But the stories that you hear of people that have invested 20 years in their business having it destroyed in 2 days, the thought of where was the support that there was needed, where was the protection that they expected, what are they working so hard for, who are they working so hard for, what is the point? Okay, so there is definitely a concern for us as accountants. We rely very heavily on the ethics of management. Okay, we rely very heavily on that entrepreneurial spirit of management. And I do not lie when, yes, we've got outliers, we've got certain companies that are doing better than they ever have before, but there's definitely also been a shift in management attitude. And we have to be incredibly aware of this, and we're going to have to manage this. Okay, I'm going to get into this in a bit more details now. And some of these I'm going to deal with, again, expand on them just now, but just to get you thinking. And if I've missed something here, if there's something here you think should be on this list, please pop it into the question box. As I said, I'm happy to discuss and evolve and think about this further. So what other issues did we have? Another seriously significant challenge we've got for accountants, for tax people, for bookkeepers, for whatever scope or space you're working with, is loss of documentation.
I hope that you enjoyed that video. For more of our webinar videos, go to www.accountingacademy.co.za. Thank you and have a lovely day.